Okay. There it is. Now this is a prototype, so all the parts are kind of mismatched. I just grabbed some leather that I had sitting there, so it's not all the same. The holster is made with 4mm thick veg tan leather. The shoulder pad strap is 2 layers of water bison, water buffalo. And then the patches on the back here are American bison. So, and then the strap, which I think is kind of a neat thing, is web tubing, right? Real heavy duty web tubing, like for climbing and that sort of thing. So it's a very simple system for adjusting it, which I'll show you in close-ups in a few minutes here. So the idea was, this was based on the World War II design. You guys ever seen the movie or the TV show Baa Baa Black Sheep? Robert Conrad and all those guys, they all wore this shoulder holster. I had one very similar to this when I was in the Marines, but it was green, excuse me, it was black. We were all green. There was light green Marines and dark green Marines. That's it. Maybe an ochre color here and there, or, you know, not too many lime green Marines back in the day, I don't think, you know. At least they hit it. They were all olive drab Marines, you know. No emerald colored green Marine. Anyhow, that was the deal. And I had a black one when I was in, and that had an extra strap that mounted back here and then came around your chest this way for a more secure fit. Also, typically these have a snap down piece of leather, a loop here, that's meant to go through your cartridge belt here. So when you go to draw the weapon, it doesn't lift up on you. We never connected it because we're usually wearing those longer blouses, you know? So you always had to kind of put a hand here to pull the weapon. This thing here I wear when I'm in the wilderness, like if I'm in Colorado, like, you know, bear country, that sort of thing. Or, I don't know why this isn't working. I'm not used to doing it. I'm used to doing it when it's on the bench. There we go. So, I've had that with friends. I've been the guy that would carry the 45 if we're in bear country. And then being in Arizona, my brother's property, that sort of thing. And, or anywhere else where that's fine. Also, if you're hunting, personally, I believe you should be carrying a pistol with you. Tons of reasons why. Don't need to get into it. You guys should know this already. But the problem was when you're walking around, should seem pretty obvious to you, debris and such is getting in this thing. Now, this is a combat holster, this one here. So it's designed so you can unplug this thing real quick, get access to the weapon. It's not designed as a woodsman's sort of thing, right? This is for the military. I always thought to myself, if it had a flap, it would make more sense. So that's what I did. Put a flap on it. So I'm going to make some more of these. I'm going to make another one for myself. This is my prototype. I'll hold on to it for a while. One of the things here, I keep going back to this, that I never liked was the leather strap. Because, I mean, this one's been oiled plenty, but even though this is pretty substantial, it's not designed to last forever. It's just not. You know, and leather, especially if you leave it alone for a while, then you go to pick it up and put it on. My other one, I could show you this. It's dry rotted. So eventually these things just started to pull apart. And I thought to myself, while I still want a leather holster, I want a strap that's going to last longer, something I can replace. Or, in some sort of emergency type situation, I could easily pull this strap and use it for something else. So, now you can rig this. I can make it tighter, so it'll sit up here. Of course, I would adjust the pad here. Alright, so it was in the right spot. But you can wear this dead center on your chest, which is very, very comfortable. Or anywhere in between. So you can just start pulling this thing all the way around to where it's all the way back over here to the side. If that's how you want to wear it. Very simple. Now, what I did with this, which I think is pretty smart, was I doubled this up. You can see it's far more comfortable. And I left the suede side down on here, and that's what grips the material of whatever you're wearing. I know people give me some grief on this because I always say how I just like to wear 100% cotton or wool, you know, or silk. You know, like a cotton silk blend is pretty good. And this is a nylon strap. Well, yeah, this is not clothing. All right, I'm going to make accommodations for things. If this product is better, if it makes more sense, that makes more sense. Now, I can imagine this with the veg tan. I can dye it and maybe an olive drab webbing strap here. That would look pretty tough. And then I want to mount this thing here, right, the magazine pouch, on the strap as well. But I want to come up with a system for that. I'm thinking about a piece of leather with slots cut in it that will orient this pouch to stay vertical, right? Or, you know, upside down possibly, because if I undo that, these are in with friction for the most part. It might be easier for them to drop out that way. I don't know. Maybe that's not a good idea. But either way, I think I want to mount it so it's going to go up like this. See how easy it is to take this on and off. Why do you want this? I mean, this is kind of a thing. Like I said, if you're a hunter and you want to carry a pistol with you, I think this is a pretty good way to go. Hill People Gear makes a chest rig where you put a lot more stuff in it, and I own one and I like it. One of the things I like about it is that the weapon is fully hidden, concealed. So that's that's a good idea. If you're hiking around other people, you don't want them to know you have a weapon. You don't mind wearing this big chest rig on your chest. This is for places where that doesn't matter. So I think I can make a leather keeper that'll hold this thing upright, or put it on a slight angle, you know, to make that a little bit easier. I think that'll make a lot of sense. So that's next up. Let's get to a table over here and let me show you kind of the details of this and what I did. Don't go anywhere. It's not over yet. There we are. So here's the front. I did burn my logo into this, Mike Z Design. This is a military snap catch here. This is a 1911. It's actually a 1991 A1. I had a lot of custom work on this particular gun, but that's not what this is about. It's about the holster. A guy did contact me, and he said, because I mentioned how when I first made the template that the whole pistol, including the sight, was easily fitting in it. Once I stitched it together, it was a little bit too snug for that, so I had to relieve the leather here. Right now, the subscriber suggests I cut this away and put another piece of this leather in there and stitch it back, and that would give me enough room for that to fit, and I agree with that. However, this is glued, and this is already 8 millimeters thick, and sewing through that was a bitch. So I'd have to be going through 12 millimeters, and I'd have to use a drill with a drill bit to drill all the way through that to sew. It would take a lot longer. So I'm keeping this one as is, but I'm going to make another one, and when I do it, this piece of leather here is going to be a little bit longer, and when I fold it over and stitch it, it'll give me enough room for the whole sight and everything to be covered all the way up to about the hammer. That's the goal. So again, this is just a prototype. So on this back side here, very, very simple. These were just spare parts I had laying around. This is a piece of bison hide. That's a piece of bison hide. I didn't want to get crazy with, you know, cutting up a bunch of leather, making everything the same color. It was unimportant to me. What was important to me was proof of concept. And I proved it. This works. And now with this here, this took an hour and a half to stitch by hand. So, you know, that's no fun, man. I'm just telling you right now, that is no fun. The others, I'll show them to you. So with this, I had a guy make this shoulder pad for me for this particular holster. But you can see it's just one piece. He did stitch it, but that doesn't do anything. I mean, that does something if you had stretch on it. It would keep this leather from stretching. But you didn't need to stitch that. And it doesn't keep this from folding up at all right here. And now the black one I have from when I was in the Corps, not stitched at all, just a single piece of leather, made a similar fashion. Also, this just kept bending up. And that just wasn't very comfortable. And in my opinion, the one on the other holster is even thinner than this. This one's a little bit more comfortable. But what I did here, this is 2 1/8. You know, it's definitely over 2 inches wide. The strap is 1 inch. And you can just see, this is plush, man. This is nice and comfortable on my shoulder. That's exactly what I was looking for. This is how it should be done, in my opinion. So yeah, nothing matches. You know, it's a little A little fancy. A little fancy. Yeah, the West Hollywood fellas might like this. I don't know. And I'll oil this up some more, all that good stuff. But I just wanted you guys to see it. I'm kind of proud of myself for pulling this off. It's been on my mind literally for years. I mean, 20 years at least. I've thought of this for at least 20 years. Finally getting to it. And, you know, I pretty much knocked it out this first time. So the next time I do this, I got to think it out a little bit. I think I have to start buying more leather. That's just how it is. And then I'll have a little bit of a hoard of it. And because I think it would be nice, obviously, if the shoulder pad here matched the sheath in some way. And obviously with this. Now, I have an idea here. I should have drawn a sketch for you, but I think I could describe it. I'm going to make a patch back here. Instead of having these two things, I'm going to have a piece that's going to be cut in such a fashion. It's going to have two slots cut in it. So you could wear this on a pistol belt, right? The belt would pass through the leather with these two slots. And then these two parts are going to be cut into that, folded over with the buckles and stitched down. Now, on this one here, you can see what the issue is, right? So I got to figure that out because one of the slots is going to be right there, you know. I just have to figure it out. Just got to think it out. But that's going to be the plan. This way, if you wanted to wear this on a belt, you could do it. And if you want to use it as a shoulder rig, like it is designed to do, obviously you got that. So that's it, man. Hope you guys, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I always say, I hope you guys dig it, but it doesn't really matter because I do. Have a good day. Be kind to one another. I'll catch you all in the next one.